All right, let's dive right into this explainer. You know that weird, almost universal human experience? The undeniable, kind of heavy awkwardness of returning to our hometowns? I mean, have you ever packed your bags feeling super nostalgic, only to arrive and realize your forever childhood friendships just feel fundamentally altered? Well, today we're exploring a completely new paradigm on growth, energy, and why our relationships shift as we do. We've literally all felt that strange friction, right? You sit down with someone you've known since you were, 6 years old, and suddenly the conversation just stalls out. Why does that actually happen? Today we're exploring a deeply fascinating, really pragmatic perspective on why those old dynamics just stop working. And spoiler alert, it's not that anyone did anything wrong or that you've suddenly become incompatible overnight. Actually, it's a matter of structural changes in who we fundamentally are as individuals. So the source material draws this really sharp contrast that we need to recognize. When you're young, you and your peers are basically in the hometown phase. Staying in the village means maintaining a shared, static level. You share the exact same basic routines, the same environment, the same scope of the world. But venturing into the outside world, that means absorbing a completely different environment. You aren't just changing zip codes, you're exposing your mind to diverse knowledge and entirely new ways of existing. Now, this brings us to a crucial concept, energy. And hey, this isn't some mystical woo-woo concept. In this context, energy represents the new cultural knowledge, the complex problems, and the diverse experiences you basically digest when navigating the larger world. When you leave the well and roam the world, you're consuming this new energy, and it fundamentally changes your operational level. You quite literally outgrow the container you used to fit into so perfectly. Section 1. The gap in growth and energy. This actually perfectly illustrates why those high school friendships worked so flawlessly back then. Think about it. You're all learning the exact same math, reading the exact same textbooks, following the identical set of rules. It's like this beautifully closed ecosystem where everyone is entirely on the same page. But adulthood, people scatter. They adopt completely different methods of surviving and thriving. That shared curriculum just vanishes, and it's replaced by drastically different life paths. There's a point made here that really hits home. Expecting to just pick up exactly where you left off, it's an illusion. You are quite literally not the same person you were when you left. The source asks, when you leave the well and roam the world, consuming totally different energy, why should you come back and talk about the exact same things? Trying to force this isn't just awkward. It's honestly a disservice to your own personal growth. Section 2. The right attitude returning home. So how do we actually handle this? Without coming off as totally arrogant? Well, there's a precise 4-step formula for returning home. First, you don't just barge in. You observe quietly for a few days to get a feel for the current reality. Second, you show universal respect. Third, you identify what the community currently lacks. And fourth, you offer structural or educational help based on the resources you've gathered outside. The whole focus shifts from regressing to childhood antics right toward offering genuine, helpful mentorship. Now, a really critical part of this formula is that universal respect. Consider this for a second. Even if a highly successful corporate CEO returns to their rural village, a truly grown individual doesn't look down on anyone. They treat everyone with equal dignity, literally everyone, from the poorest person in the village to the elders, right down to the kids. True growth doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you deeply respectful of everyone's unique journey. You see this all the time, actually. People go home and just intentionally regress. They'll drink the local cheap rice wine, mug gully, just to pretend nothing has changed and make others comfortable. But instead of faking it, the advice is to elevate the experience. If you've learned to appreciate fine wine out in the world, introduce them to it. Serve it in elegant glasses. Share your elevated energy and culture to uplift the whole group, rather than shrinking yourself back down to fit a mold from the past. All right, Section 3, the hidden truth of reunions. Okay, brace yourself for a pretty blunt and provocative observation here. If you are currently thriving, intensely focused, and outgrowing your peers, you are highly unlikely to attend high school reunions. You simply don't have the energetic need for it. People typically seek out these reunions only when they feel a bit beaten down by the world, or their pride takes a hit, and they suddenly crave the comfort of their old baseline identity. When we break down why people actually go, it's fascinating. Attendees usually show up because their life has taken a bit of a downturn, or maybe they're feeling a deep sense of isolation in their current higher level pursuits. Ultimately, they're seeking comfort at a lower, more familiar energy level. It's kind of like a temporary retreat to a safe harbor, right? A place where everyone was once exactly equal. But, what if you do end up at one of these things and realize you just don't energetically match anyone anymore? The survival guide is pretty clear. Remember that a shared history doesn't equal a shared present. Don't force yourself to engage in behaviors or conversations that just don't fit you anymore. Politely participate, quickly assess the energy levels of the room, and if you realize you're on a completely different frequency, just quietly and gracefully exit. There's zero need for drama. Just recognize the mismatch. Which leads us to section 4, the condition for true friendship. We're so culturally conditioned to believe that true friendship is forever, no matter what happens. But we really need to abandon that romanticized idea. Someone who is your friend today might not be your friend tomorrow, because friends are not fixed. Friendship isn't some stagnant label you apply once in the 3rd grade and just keep forever. It's a living, breathing dynamic that requires constant, synchronized movement. Ultimately, the absolute core requirement for lasting friendship isn't about shared history, and it definitely isn't about financial wealth. It is all about having a matching mental age. Now, just to be super clear, we aren't talking about IQ here. It's about spiritual, intellectual, and energetic maturity. It's how you process the world, how you solve problems, and the kind of energy you bring to the table. If those mental ages diverge, the friendship just naturally dissolves. Maintaining true bonds, it's active work. It really is. Mismatched energy prevents true communication. You just end up talking past each other and frustrating yourselves. The hard truth is, if you don't truly connect anymore, you simply aren't friends in the active sense. To remain a vital part of your life, an old friend has to commit to growing alongside you, ensuring your mental ages continue to seamlessly align as the years go by. This whole concept completely shifts how we view our social circles, doesn't it? Well, we're going to leave you to reflect on this final profound thought. I really encourage you to evaluate your own relationships, not by how many years you've known someone or how many old memories you share, but by how well your energies align today. Look at the people around you right now. Who is the friend that truly matches your mental age?